By
Would
no
you agree
means.
that we should impeach the man that is single-handedly responsible for a terrorist state being on the bleeding edge of possessing nuclear technology in accordance with your view?
Why would we blame Trump?
Because he's the one that pulled us out of the agreement that prevented them from the further development of nuclear technology for no reason.
When did that happen?
When did that happen? That happened in 2018.
So he pulled us out of an agreement that would have prevented them from getting the technology to create nukes.
That did prevent them, absolutely. Welcome in, Gav. How old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18. Do you support Trump?
I do, kinda.
Kinda. Okay.
Like not fully.
Not
You know what I
fully,
mean?
but kinda. So what do you support about Trump?
I don't know. At first, I thought like the attack on Iran was kind of dumb or whatever, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it. I guess like they kind of like don't need nukes. Is the way I look at it.
They don't need nukes. Dude, okay, one, U.S. intelligence says that they're years out. Two, they were able to work diplomatically with America for 3 years under a nuclear peace agreement, in which their nuclear enrichment facilities were monitored 24/7 by the IAEA, as well as the IAEA said that there are zero violations under the totality of the signed agreement that we had with the country. Three, it is the case that when we signed the agreement with them back in 2015, that they sent 97% of their enriched uranium to Russia and shut down a lot of their facilities that they were using to develop nuclear technology. And the only reason why any and all of those plans failed is because Trump pulled us out of the deal. So, A, if you think that they're close to having nukes, blame Trump. Shouldn't we impeach the man that is single-handedly responsible for apparently a terrorist state being on the edge of possessing nuclear technology?
So like the general consensus is like they don't even like have nukes or close to, not have nukes, but are not even close to having nukes.
U.S. intelligence says that they're years out, but I mean, if you think that they're about to have them or they already have them, wouldn't you agree
I don't
that
think
we
they already
should?
have them. By
Would
no
you agree
means.
that we should impeach the man that is single-handedly responsible for a terrorist state being on the bleeding edge of possessing nuclear technology in accordance with your view?
I have no idea.
You don't. You have no clue. You have no clue. Okay.
Why would we blame Trump?
Because he's the one that pulled us out of the agreement that prevented them from the further development of nuclear technology for no reason.
When did that happen?
When did that happen? That happened in 2018.
So he pulled us out of an agreement that would have prevented them from getting the technology to create nukes.
That did prevent them. Absolutely. Yep.
So what was that?
It was
Can
a
I look
nuclear
that up?
peace agreement. Yeah, it was called the Iranian nuclear peace agreement. They entered into it with us and 5 other countries, and it gave the IAEA, which is an international administration of nuclear advancement. I think the IAEA. I could even look up what that stands for more specifically. They had access to 24/7 surveillance of all of their nuclear, all of their nuclear facilities, and it is the case that they reported no violations while the agreement was signed.
So what do you think the reason was for Trump bombing the facilities?
Because Israel asked him to.
You think he just did it because Israel asked him?
Yeah.
There's got to be more reasoning than that, surely.
No. What's the other? What's the reason?
Well, why would you think he would just jump for Israel like that?
Well, because the APAC has only given him $230 million, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean,
But seriously, Israel says Trump jump. He says how high?
I don't know, bro. 230 million? I feel like that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
So then why did he do it?
I don't know. I don't know his. I mean, I'm not like one-sided by no means, but
The
I don't think
U.S.
he would
always jumps for Israel. We do whatever
I
the
don't
fuck
think he
they
would
want.
just-
The way,
I don't think he would just
Israel
do
is
it
so
for no
much.
reason.
Israel has so much influence over America. Okay, and maybe like another reason here is the idea that like that is God's country, and doing Israel's will is doing God's will. I mean, like Donald Trump even spoke. One moment, Donald Trump even spoke about this in his speech last night. He said, "God bless America and God bless Israel."
Isn't Israel mostly Jews?
So it's an ethnic state of Jewish individuals. Yeah.
They don't believe in God, right? Aren't they like
Oh, bro. Okay.
No, they don't believe in Christ. I mean,
I'm not going to go over the theology of it with you, but
They don't.
in accordance with the Christian Bible,
they
Israel,
literally don't believe in Christ.
in accordance with the Christian Bible, Israel is God's chosen land, and a lot of congressmen and women, as well as even potentially the president, think that we have a holy obligation to protect the land and to protect the country, and this is being demonstrated in reality by us bending the knee to whatever they want. We did this with their ethnic cleansing of Palestine, and now we're doing this with their unjust aggression on Iran. So
When I looked up the Jews' religion, that
Jewish
it says they don't believe in
religions.
Christ or Muhammad. They don't believe in like any type of.
So
I don't
they
know.
don't think Christ was God. They think he was a prophet. But even then, that doesn't change anything I just said. That doesn't change the fact that Christians, a lot of them, even in Congress, think that they have some holy obligation to protect the land because it's their holy land and to protect
Like
Israel.
everyone's
Since
going
God
crazy.
says in the book of Revelation that Israel will be the last country standing.
Everyone's going crazy in the comments, but like literally look it up yourself. They don't believe in Christ.
Hey, can you repeat the last thing I said, you idiot? Like, I don't know why you're ignoring me. Repeat the last thing I said. Stop being dense. I've explained this. I've explained this to you 5 times, 5 different ways, and then you just keep saying, "Oh, they don't believe in Christ." Okay,
Because they don't. You're sitting here trying to tell
listen
me
to
they're
what I'm
Christians.
saying. I never said that non-Christians are Christians. Okay, if you are religiously Jewish, then you are not Christian. That is evidently implied via the rejection of the Trinity and other core Christian theology, such as the Nicene Council of 320 AD. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that Christians today, particularly those in the government, view Israel as their holy land, and because the book of Revelation says that Israel will be the last country standing, they believe that they have an obligation to protect, defend, and bend the knee to the state of Israel. And the fact that the state of Israel does not recognize Christ as king, right, doesn't change anything I just said. So stop repeating that every single time I'm A, explaining Christian theology to you, and B, explaining how Christian theology has been able to work its way into the American government and motivate congressmen and women as well as the president to bend the knee to Israel.
Okay. So what is Russia's standpoint on it? Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do anything?
No, don't pivot. Respond to what I just said, please.
I don't really care, to be honest. There's no arguing with you.
Right, you don't care. So when you lose a conversation, you don't
tried
care.
to tell me Israel was Christians, and like this is hilarious.
I never told you that Israel's were Christians.
You pretty much said that.
No, I said that Christians think that they have an obligation to protect Israel. There's
Which makes no sense because Israel's don't even believe in Christianity.
Well, then go tell them that.
It literally makes no sense.
Well, then go tell the Christians in our government that. Don't tell me that. Go tell Trump that.
Bro, that's just a dumb reason, bro. They
Okay, well
obviously
then,
don't believe that.
go tell Trump that that's a dumb reason. Please go do it.
I'm sure Trump knows it's common knowledge that they're not Christians. Why would he jump for him because of the fact that?
Okay, well then
he's
explain to me
Christian?
why in the
That
speech
makes
last night
literally no
he said that
sense.
us and Israel are very close partners. God bless Israel. God bless America. That's
we've
a
been
quote from his
allies
speech
for
last night.
years.
That's
I mean, that has nothing to do with Christianity.
then why did he say God bless Israel? God bless America. That's what he said in his speech
Because Trump's
last
a
night.
Christian. He's going to say, God bless any country he's helping.
Well,
Like,
no, he
what?
specifically said, "God bless Israel." Keep in mind, once again,
Because
the book
he
of
just helped
Revelation, the
Israel.
book of Revelation in the Christian Bible
Oh
says
my
that Israel
gosh.
will be the last country standing on earth, as well as it is the Christian Holy Land, regardless if the state or the individuals in the state are Christian or not. That is a Christian Holy Land, so they believe that they have an obligation to protect and uphold it. And this is coming from congressmen and women. Please go look at the interviews of journalists walking up to congressmen and women, asking them why they're pro-Israel, and then they say, "Well, because the Bible tells me to." Go look at the sit-down interview between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson that took place 4 days ago, and listen to how Ted Cruz is trying to convince Tucker Carlson that it says in the Christian Bible that we need to protect Israel. That is a sentence that was uttered out of Ted Cruz's mouth 3 days ago.
Wait, so do you think Trump would not say God bless to any other country he just helped
Respond to
out with?
what I just said. Respond to the fact that I'm able to point out very specific
You didn't even
congressmen and
respond to
women
my question.
that have been very loud in saying that the Christian Bible says that we have an obligation to protect Israel, and in the book of Revelations it says that Israel will be the last country standing.
So you
Not to
think
mention,
that's why
regardless of the
Trump voted
religious
for Israel,
affiliation of the
because the Bible
state,
said
it is
we
a
have an
Christian
obligation.
holy land. So respond to those things, sir. You're being dense.
I
You're
just
being
responded.
disingenuous. And honestly, for everybody watching, all 12.5 thousand of you, this is how every single one of these conversations is likely to go today. Because guess what? What I'm saying is true. What I'm saying can't be contested. This is the reality of the situation. And if there's anybody in this country that still stands 10 toes behind Trump, this is the way that they're going to operate in these conversations. They're going to shut down all of their intellectual faculties. They're going to shut down all of their faculties of reasons, all of their faculties of logic, and all of their faculties in which are supposed to be in alignment with truth or in alignment with reality, and become dense little individuals such as the guests that we have on the live right now. I'm giving you the facts and you can't contest them, man.
I think you're just a narcissist, bro.
You're calling me a narcissist because I've been able to demonstrate that you're wrong. Stop projecting.
You keep bringing up the Bible now, like, bro.
Well, of course, I'm going to bring up the
How old
Bible
is the
when you're
Bible?
asking me about the Bible as it relates to Christians' views on Israel.
I did not ask you about the Bible. What are you talking about?
You did. You said, well, why is it the case that Christians would want to protect Israel? Well, I told
Because
you
they're
why,
not
and a lot
even
of it is
Christian.
rooted in the Bible.
Oh my gosh, bro, they're not even Christians. Your point makes no sense.
I never said that Christians think that they have to protect Israel because Israel is Christian. I
I'm
said
pretty
that
sure Christians actually like
right.
dislike Jews because of their beliefs.
Jewish
They
individuals,
they
not
think
Jews.
Jesus is a false prophet.
Okay, so I've already repeated this 10 times. I'm going to repeat it one
No,
last
you're
time
good.
for you.
You're
Are you
no, no,
ready?
no, 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 no.
Right,
You
you
don't
don't
gotta
want
repeat
me to repeat it because you're wrong. I have a question. Do you think that Donald
that.
Trump
I
is
guess, bro.
I have a question. Do you think that Donald Trump is going to be good for inflation?
I doubt it.
So
I
inflation's going
doubt
to
it.
go up. So why do you support a president that's going to cause inflation in this country?
Okay, how much inflation did Biden cause?
I actually
Quite a
don't
bit.
think that we would attribute any inflation that happened under his administration to him. What did he do to cause
Really?
inflation?
You don't think so?
Yeah, how did he cause inflation? Tell me.
Oh, so inflation just happened. But if it happens when Trump's president, he's causing it
So
all.
are you going to tell me how he caused it?
Are you gonna tell me how he didn't cause it?
Okay, for sure. So basically, you're saying that you can't prove your claim. Therefore,
Are
I
you
need
gonna
to.
tell me how Biden did not cause inflation?
Are you going to interrupt me while I'm trying to answer your question, little boy?
Yeah, you're a narcissist, bro.
I'm a narcissist for calling
You're
you a
that
little man.
upset. You don't even know what I look like. You're calling me a little man because you're upset.
I'm not calling you a little man because of your physicality. I'm calling you a little man because of your pea-sized brain. But I am now going to go ahead and mute you and I'm going to
Yeah, I'm
respond to
sure,
your
bro.
question. So you said, oh, can you tell me how Biden didn't cause inflation? Well, first and foremost, the burden of proof is going to be on the accuser, meaning when you suggest the positive claim that the Biden-Harris administration caused inflation, the Odin would be on you to grant evidence for this claim being true. But you are obviously
Okay,
trying
he
to
gave
contort.
like how much money to
Don't
Ukraine?
interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. And if you want to try to posit the fallacious idea that it is rather on me to refute what you're saying, and if I can't refute what you're saying is therefore true, well, I'll just simply give you a really fallacious, very loaded hypothetical example to refute that. You shouldn't support Trump because last night he raped a little girl. Oh, and guess what? I don't have to give you any evidence for this. But if you can't give me evidence against this, it must be true.
Okay, did him giving like billions to Ukraine not hurt our economy?
Okay, for sure. So now you're saying that the $32 billion that we gave to Ukraine per year.
32 billion? Oh my god, I didn't know it was that much. That's insane.
Let me know when I could talk.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So you're saying that the $32 billion that we sent to Ukraine per year, disproportionately in weaponry.
Per year?
Okay, man. So you are intentionally interrupting me at this point. Are you here for any type of productive
I'm
dialogue?
sorry. I'm sorry. I was just reacting.
Do you have any like self-control?
No, I'm sorry. I mean, like,
So you don't have self-control.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're saying that the $32 billion that we sent to Ukraine per year, all right, which was disproportionately in weaponry, is what caused inflation here at home in America. So, A, expenditure in other countries is going to cause less inflation than expenditure in the American economy, since less of that money would be in circulation in the American economy. And B, if you think that $32 billion per year is what caused a 9% level of inflation after the pandemic, then please tell me how much inflation you think the $8.6 trillion spent in 4 years under Trump's first term caused.
Well, there wasn't much inflation at all during Trump's first term.
Oh, okay. So then if $8.6
Like,
trillion
at all, like,
in
it was
expenditure
actually-
can't cause much inflation, then how could a little bit over $100 billion cause the most inflation in the last 100 years? Make that make
Hey,
sense.
you tell me, bro. I don't know. It's been bad lately.
All right. Well, I mean, what that shows you is that this wouldn't be a good enough reason for you to say that the Biden-Harris administration motivated a lot of inflation, given the fact that the Trump administration spent 80 times as much compared to the expenditure that you just pointed out, and I guess caused no inflation.
So, what do you think is causing the inflation under the Biden administration?
Yeah, the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's a valid argument, I guess. You can say the pandemic caused it, but all that inflation, even like afterwards, the fallout, you think that was all because of the pandemic?
Yeah, yeah.
So him just throwing out billions and billions of a years is like, oh no, it's nothing.
We already agreed that the Trump administration spent twice as much as them, and you don't think that caused much inflation. So even you don't attribute direct government spending.
So what
to
did
causing
the
inflation.
Trump administration spend twice as much on? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, for sure. One of the main motivating factors of their expenditure would have been nearly $2 trillion spent on tax cuts that disproportionately benefited the ultra wealthy.
So like, what's your source for that?
The what's my source on that? That's going to be the Donald Trump's tax plan passed in 2018, and the expenditures reported via 10-year projection, both by the U.S. Treasury and the CBO.
Okay, so he gave out $2 trillion in tax cuts.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I gotta find that. I never heard about that.
Okay. Well, you don't really seem like you're that educated, right?
What
Then
was
what?
this?
The Donald Trump tax cuts of 2018 and the 10-year estimated expenditure from the CBO and the U.S. Treasury.
Okay, was that money in circulation, or is it like a kind of Ukraine excuse?
Yeah, because it went to Americans and the American market. Yes,
Okay.
that money was in circulation. Absolutely. What?
What's the difference between like money being in circulation or not? Like, it's still money that could be in circulation.
I don't know what you're asking.
Like all the money we gave to Ukraine, like you said, oh, it wasn't in circulation. Like it
Right,
could have been.
because it was being used for humanitarian support in the country and like literal weapons.
Yeah, but we just print money like it's nothing. We could like it could easily be in circulation.
I don't know what you're asking me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know what you're asking me.
Like your
I don't know
whole
how
thing
this
was,
relates
oh,
to
it's
the
not in
point.
circulation. Oh, it doesn't. It's
Oh
not even
no
real,
no my
basically.
point
Throw
said
it away.
my point said that it was less likely to be in circulation in the American economy compared to expenditure inside of America because A, it's out of the economy in another country, and B, is disproportionately in weaponry, not in like money. So it'd just be less likely to increase the overall M2 money supply in the American economy, and that's true.
That's crazy. Though. I don't really get that. It's still money.
Okay, but that money would
It's still our money that could easily be put in circulation. That's just being tossed away.
but it's less likely to increase the money supply in the American economy because it's not in America and most of it isn't money, it's weapons.
That's wild.
So why do you support Trump?
I mean, I just respect that he's like not scared to like stand up for our country.
He's not scared to stand up for a country. Was Hitler scared to stand up for Nazi Germany?
Okay, we're not bringing up Hitler, bro.
I'm just saying if that alone is the reason why you support him, does this mean that you would have supported Hitler too?
What?
Yeah, was Hitler scared to stand up for Nazi Germany?
So if you support someone who's not afraid to stand up for their country, you like Hitler.
Well, I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that this like false representation, I would say, is not sufficient to support a candidate, right? Especially like when we'd consider like the truth.
I mean, I didn't even vote.
I was
I'm
in
not
the
gonna lie.
middle of speaking, Gavin. Why do you
Oh, I'm so sorry.
incessantly interrupt me?
I'm sorry.
No, tell me. Why do you continue to interrupt me every single time I open my mouth? I'm being serious. Tell me.
I'm sorry, bro. Talk.
No, I don't want you to apologize. I want you to explain why you've done this
my
every single
goodness.
time I've spoken since you've joined.
Have you not been interrupting me too?
I actually haven't, no. So I want you to answer my question. Why do you continue to do this every single time I open my mouth?
Can you just keep talking what you're talking about?
No, I want you to explain
You're
why
trying
you've
to
interrupted me
change the
every single.
subject.
I
You're trying
want
to
I
change the
want you to
subject, bro.
explain why you've interrupted me every single time I've opened my mouth.
Because I can. I have free will.
Because you have free will, dude. Yeah, that's really good justification.
Now you're sounding like a communist.
We define communism.
No free will.
So communism is not quote unquote no free will. Communism is a stateless, moneyless, classless society.
That's what you want, right?
No, I don't support communism.
So why are you so mad that I'm interrupting you?
Because two things could be true at once. I could win a productive conversation without interruption while not being a communist.
Whatever you say, bro. Can you just go on what you were saying?
Not with you, man. You're completely intelligible and incoherent. So we're going to move on to the next guest.